Morning. Today I've got a few bits and pieces to sort out. Give you a bit of an update on the projects, see where we are with what, and then we're going to make a start on probably the Cummins Land Rover today. So I've got a few things to move about, so I'll tell you what's happening as we go. Come and have a look. Right, so a little update. The Jag has been off to the specialists, a local Jag classic dealer, repair centre, restorer, etc., who has confirmed that it is the gearbox. It's not a software fault or fluid, checked fluid level, that's all fine. So it is a gearbox. Now the quotes I've been getting are between 2 and 3 grand so far, which kind of means that it's probably not going to get done. Alright, it might mean that I've got a pretty much guaranteed gearbox, but don't know about the rest of the car. Obviously I've not driven it anywhere yet, so I don't even know if it sits at 80 alright, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I've been offered a few used gearboxes for about £1 grand, but again, you don't know how long they're going to last. Is that throwing good money after bad? So I don't know, we'll see. I'd imagine I could probably get an XJR supercharged for the price it would cost me to get a gearbox. So do I spend money and get a better one that might not last? Because let's face it, everyone I seem to look at on the internet says it's got a gearbox fault. So catch-22, what do? I don't know. Maybe someone out there knows of some gearbox specialists that aren't out to rip your face off. So that's that. Anyway, so that's going to go back in the shed for the time being. Freelander, though, if you remember last time, had no clutch. The gearbox was damaged, so I swapped the gearbox, put new clutch hydraulics on, still wouldn't work. Gave me the right ump, parked it in the shed, left it for a few weeks. Just ordered another new hydraulic system, sent the old one back, got a refund on it. So hopefully they determined that it was faulty. So fingers crossed the new one. I've gone for a bit of a better one this time. So hopefully that will sort it. So maybe today I'll quickly whip that on and hope for the best. So that's those two. As I say, the BRM failed its MOT, not on substantial stuff, just a few bits and pieces, emissions mainly. But when I looked, the lambda sensors weren't plugged in, so who knows. We'll get round to that at some point. Today we're getting back on the 300 TD5s, I called it, the D1 chassis, D2 body, and we'll show you what we're doing with that. So for now, that's that lot. You can join me again in a little while once we start on the rest. Right, so I didn't film fitting it because obviously you've seen that before in a previous video, but it does seem the extra pound spent means it now drives. Hallelujah. And we've got reverse. So this one was a pound more than the last one. As I said before, the last one was Brit part. Now I know a lot of people slate Brit part. I don't normally, because I've used it quite a bit in various builds, clutches, HD clutches and things like that, and never had a problem. This is the first Brit part item I've had that didn't work, but who's to say it was Brit part's fault as opposed to just one of those things. But anyway, we've got an all makes one. It's an aluminium body instead of a plastic one, so the quality feels a lot better, and it was a pound difference. And as you can tell from that, it's now running and driving. It is minging, it needs a damn good wash, probably a good service because it's been sat for a long time. So that's another one back on the road as such. Got to get it for an MOT, but I am rather happy after the problems we had before. So that's this one. We'll get it booked in for an MOT and a wash, and we'll see what it needs. So a bit of an update on the 90 as well. All going alright. Had a bit of an issue with the glow plug light wasn't coming on. So a quick test on the glow plugs themselves, saw no live. So I thought the relay had gone. So I had the relay off this morning, and actually the live to the relay had not sheared, but a solder joint had come off. So redone that, got glow plug lights again. So that's all good. Only thing is, it's bloody cold. The heater don't work very well, but I think that's a normal Defender thing. I mean, all the Land Rovers I've had, this is the first Defender, so I'm not used to it. But so we've manually, because the cables are a bit funny, they need replacing to be fair, so I manually switched it over on the Matrix, and it's a bit warmer, but it's by no means warm. So I'll probably get a auxiliary heater for it, like a little diesel heater, just to warm everything up. That'd be a bit nicer to drive then. Today, fitting a swing away spare wheel carrier. Hopefully you can see it down there. This is for a 300 chassis, and obviously, although it's a 300 truck, it's a TD5 chassis made for a 300, so the mounting's a bit different. So instead of drilling the Galv chassis, I'm going to modify the mounts to fit on. When I bought this top and door, as you can see, the holes are there. This is the one that it come off of, so just got to make an extra hole in the butt, which I've started while I'm waiting for the drill to charge, and then modify the bottom bracket to bolt in the original holes, and then we'll have a swing away wheel carrier. So I think for now this is all good. We've had a ground anchor made. I'll stick some pictures in now. Just so when it's at home, I can chain it to the drive. They'd have to angle grind through the chain to get it off, which alright is doable, but it will take them a little while because it's a thick old chain, and they certainly won't be able to get the ground anchor off. I'm waiting for the X-Eng pedal lock to come back in stock at Foundry. As opposed to a removable one, you've got to undo, chuck in the back, put back on. It folds flat on the floor. So when you want to lock it, you just literally fold it up, lock it, job done. When you want to get back in, unlock it, fold it flat, it becomes a floor. So there's nothing loose that's going to bang around in the back, or not going to not be bothered to get out and pick it up and take it around and put it on. It'll always be there. But they're out of stock at the minute. I'm told they're going to be back anytime soon, but they've not appeared yet. So at the moment it's still living in here. So anytime I want to use it, I've got to come to the workshop, pick it up and go out in it. So hopefully soon it can live at home. We've just got to find a solution to locking the doors, because obviously the standard Land Rover locks are useless. I know if someone wants to get in it, they'll get in it, but anything we can do to slow them down would be good. I did see some lockable tree sliders from a company called Hampshire, but their website's gone, so I presume they've gone under. But if anyone has any other suggestions for that kind of thing, I might even end up getting proper security locks like they have on vans and things. I might put them on, just for a bit of peace of mind. I think with those, the chain, the pedal lock, and on my drive there's normally cars parked behind, so they'll struggle to get it out. But if they want it, they'll take it. There's nothing you can really do about it. So for now, that's an update on this. So got the top mount on. That's on and nice and secure. So now moving on to the bottom one. Obviously, as I said before, this is a TD5 cross member, and this bracket was designed for a 300 one, so the holes are in the wrong place. So what I've done is cut the studs off, got another plate, drilled it out, and used the original mounting bolts that were on this plate to go through, so they can be welded on, cut off and ground back, and then this, once the bar's mounted, will go on there and be welded to that, and then it'll all be in the right place. Because if this was in that top hole like that, it wouldn't reach the bottom and vice versa. So I had to make a second plate. So now I just need to get this welded up, because as I've said before, I'm not a welder. So get this welded up, and then hopefully it'll all mount, and then we need to work out what we do with the door bit, because it normally has a slider, but I'm thinking I might put a latch on there so I can padlock it to that. So then once it's padlocked, you won't be able to open the door anyway, so it'll act as a second lock. So that's where we are at the moment. We will continue. So back from the test, and it is a fail. Tyre has ply or cords exposed offside front. That's with wear. They've started to crack and you can just about see through. So I should have probably seen that first, but I didn't really pay much attention. I knew it was going to fail on something. So it needs a tyre. Might have one kicking about somewhere. Major defects include battery insecure. I knew about that. The bolt wouldn't do up tight. So that's something I've got to do. It's not at the end of the world. Exhaust carbon monoxide content after second fast idle exceeds default limits. Now, initially I thought that was probably the cat, as I've had to replace cats on a few of these. But the engine management light did come on the way home. So I've plugged it in and checked, and it says misfire on cylinder 1 and 4. So a couple of plugs, leads, coil packs, something like that might be adrift. So I'm going to change them first before I go ahead and put a cat on it. It's not the end of the world putting a cat on, they're not that dear. But obviously if it's misfiring, it isn't going to be running perfectly, so we'll try that first. It's all got to be serviced, so it might as well have plugs in it now. So that's that. Monitor and repair if necessary. Brake pipes, they're not corroded, they are just covered in underseal, so that's fine. Offside rear tyre, slightly low on edges, very slightly low, it's fine. Fuel tank cradle corroded, yeah, just a little bit of surface rust, not a problem. So we'll get it serviced, take it back for a emissions test without doing the actual retest, then we can see whether the servicing has sorted that out. And obviously if the light doesn't come back on, then we know that's not bad. And we'll check the emissions again. If it passes, then we'll go ahead with the retest. If it fails that, then obviously we'll chuck a cat on it. I know people say give it a good ragging before you get there. Yeah, that does work sometimes, but obviously if it's not running right with regards to misfiring, etc., dodgy plugs, it's pointless doing that just at the moment. So we'll get the service done. As long as the light doesn't come back on, we'll give it a good thrashing just to be doubly sure, then take it in and get them to check it. So not the end of the world, not too bad. As you saw, I had it all cleaned up. It has been keyed all the way around it. I need to have a good look. It's crappy weather out there, so I haven't bothered looking at the minute, but I'll have to have a look, see whether it's surface or whether it has actually gone through. I mean, it's never going to be a prize winner, so it is what it is. So that's the Freelander update. Now the clutch is done and the MOT test is sort of done. So what next? Let's have a look. So as we said, when we plugged it in and diagnosed it, it said we had a misfire. So I'm going to quickly change the plugs and leads, see if that sorts it. It could also be the coil pack, because the coil pack does feed 1 and 4, so that would kind of make sense, but we will change the plugs first and see what happens. Ooh. That's not helping. Okay, so last time we had misfire on cylinder 1 and 4. Cylinder 1 has a coil pack which then feeds cylinder 4, so it could have been the coil pack. I did take out obviously all the plugs and change them. Plug 4 was covered in oil, so I reckon the rocker cover gasket's probably gone, but I have swapped the coil packs around as well, so we'll see what we get now. So I'm just going to plug it in and read it on one of these cheap scanners. Nothing exciting, but it's just linking now, and hopefully we will get right. So if I can show you, oh, hopefully you can see this. Okay, so it's found, or FUNED, I think that should be found, codes. So read codes, enter, stored codes, cylinder 1 misfire, cylinder 4 misfire, random multiple cylinder misfires detected. Misfire detected with low fuel, yeah, it was fairly low. So escape that, erase the codes, enter, yes, erasing. Okay, so that should get rid of them. Exit test, yes. Escape. Right, so now we'll unplug it. The OBD port is down there. There we go, unplugged. Right, let's see what happens. Management light's gone out. Now normally when you revved it, it would come back. So, let's see. Nothing so far, and it idles okay. So what I'll do, I'll just plug it back in and just see if anything else has come up. It shouldn't do, as the light hasn't come on, but we'll give it a go. So that's plugged in, ignition on, enter, diagnostics. Erase previous data, yes. Codes found 0. There we go. So for now, that is sorted. You can get these readers for about 20 quid off eBay. They're not dear. Well worth it just for little things like this, so you can have a look and delete stuff. But it's called a Conway, spelt K-O-N-N-W-E. So there you go. So I'll leave it here for this one. What I'll do, I'll obviously take it back down the MOT centre, plug it back in the emissions reader, see whether now it's burning right and there's no errors. we can pass that. If we can, great. And obviously then we've got to look at changing the rocker cover gasket. If it doesn't go through still, then I'll have to have a go at changing that cap. But again, they're not dear, easy to do. Hopefully that will resolve it. So thanks for watching. Little update plus Freelander content. We'll get on to some more bits soon. Obviously Christmas is here now, so it might be a bit of a gap, but we've got a few projects coming up. I've got to do a galvanised chassis replacement on a Discovery 2. I've got to start building up a Range Rover P38 ready for a galvanised chassis. So we've got a few things to do. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon in another video. Thanks.